would want men playing in women's sports? They want it. Who would want transgender operations for almost everybody in the world? They want that. This is a sick group of people, I'm telling you, and there's a great evilness. You know, we want to come together as a country, but there's a lot of evil there.
Transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely. The whole preposterous ideology at every level.
This is the disturbing reality of today's political climate. Hi, I'm Jack Ecker, and welcome to the Woke Agenda. And today, we're cutting through the noise to examine the dangerous wave of anti-trans legislation and rhetoric, and why it's more than just words. It's a movement that impacts real people in real ways every single day.
If transgenderism is true, if men really can become women, then it's true for everybody of all ages. If transgenderism is false, as it is, if men really can't become women, as they cannot, then it's false for everybody too. And if it's false, then we should not indulge it.
So let's break down what's actually happening. We're seeing misleading statements, like the former President Donald Trump's claim that kids are getting sex changes in schools.
I say reading, writing, and arithmetic. No transgender, no operations. You know, they take your kid. There are some places, your boy leaves the school, comes back, a girl.
A claim that isn't just false, but wildly irresponsible. I mean, schools are busy enough to handling math tests and cafeteria food fights, let alone running underground surgery clinics. But all jokes aside, statements like these don't just stretch the truth. They're shaping people's beliefs and laying the groundwork for laws that target trans youth and adults alike. From restrictions on healthcare to banning trans youth from sports, these laws claim to protect, but instead, they isolate and endanger.
On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this?
This isn't just about restricting healthcare or participation in sports. It's about shaping how society sees trans people. Policies and statements like these paint trans individuals as problems to be solved or even eradicated.
Transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely. The whole preposterous ideology at every level.
The message it sends to trans people, especially young people, is devastating. Let's look at the impact here. When trans individuals can't access gender-affirming healthcare, their well-being suffers. When they're pushed out of sports, they lose a vital support system. It's not just about policy, it's deeply personal. And we're seeing this happen in a record number of states.
Today, the Nebraska Supreme Court upheld a law restricting medical care for transgender youth.
The Kentucky General Assembly passing a sweeping anti-trans bill.
This past week, the Texas Attorney General sued a pediatrician for violating the state's ban on gender-affirming care.
Arkansas passing a bill blocking gender-affirming care for trans youth. It would ban access to things like reversible puberty blockers and hormones.
Now, let's talk about what we can do. Fighting this level of misinformation and pushing back against the dangerous laws isn't easy, but it's impossible, and it starts with each of us. You can support organizations like the ACLU, the Transgender Law Center, and the Trevor Project, who are actively challenging these laws and supporting those affected. Supporting these organizations can mean everything from donating, if you're able, to sharing their resources. But it's not just about donating. Speaking up in your own circles is huge. Correct misinformation when you hear it. Amplify trans voices, and let your representatives know that targeting trans rights is not something you'll stand for.
The trans rights are under attack. What do you do?
At the end of the day, this is about more than just trans rights. It's about the kind of society we want to live in, one that values empathy, compassion, and respect for every individual's right to live as their truth, authentic self. Fighting for trans rights is part of the larger fight for a fair and inclusive world, and that's something we'll all have a stake in. So listener, let's keep pushing forward. Keep challenging the narrative that trans people are anything less than incredible members of our communities. Let's remind people that every person deserves respect and the freedom to live authentically. Well, that was our show. Thank you for joining me on The Woke Agenda. Let's stay informed, stay vigilant, and, most importantly, stay woke. My name is Jack Ecker. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight.